What if you could gain the attention of a celebrity, and not just that, you could turn them into a customer, and not just that, you can get them talking about your brand, about your service in front of their audience. How valuable would that be to you? Now, maybe it's not a celebrity. Maybe it's lower hanging fruit, like maybe the CEO of a local company, and you want to get on their bandwidth to get them to make the decision to offer your service to their employees. How big would that be for your business? How powerful would it be for you to not only know how to do that once, but also replicate that success? Well, I'm going to discuss that in today's episode, specifically under the context as to how I got this gentleman to jump onto our meal prep service. And like I said, I didn't just get him as a client. I got him to actually discuss our brand in front of his audience. Now, I did this not just once, not just twice, but 3 times, and I'm going to cover exactly how so you could replicate that same success and apply it to a target that you have on your radar. What's going on, eaters and feeders? My name is Casey. On my channel, I discuss business tips and tricks, startup hacks, entrepreneur mindset, and so much more based on my experience starting and growing Florida's highest rated meal prep company. If you're interested in learning more about sales, production, software, leadership, mindset, marketing, meditation, and everything in between, I invite you to subscribe and turn on those alert notifications because I produce content weekly. I go live sporadically, and I don't want you missing out on any of it. I also don't want you to miss out on the links in the show notes and mealprepbiz101.com. The links in the show notes and mealprepbiz101.com have the continuation of my content. There's more tools, more resources, and more stuff for you to dig your fingers into and absorb for your business to leverage your success and bring it faster. I've got calculators, I've got a free ebook, I've got free bootcamp, I've got free software that will run your entire business. It will take orders, it will manage customers, it'll do email campaigns, text campaigns, delivery, logistics, purchasing, plating. Too much. It does too much, especially considering it is 100% free. I've also got one-on-one consulting with yours truly. I've got a private group that is dedicated to meal prep entrepreneurs who are looking to share questions, answers, tips, secrets, scars, battle stories, and everything in between. So again, check out the links in the show notes to gain access to that stuff, as well as mealprepbiz101.com. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump into today's episode.
Welcome to our channel where we go behind the scenes for meal plan company Fit Food Fresh and other local businesses across South Florida. Make sure you hit the subscribe and alerts so you never miss a video, and hit us with any questions or suggestions.
Now, I was a fan of Grant Cardone before I knew he even lived in South Florida, but once I found out that he lived in South Florida, I decided that it was going to be my mission to get him on our meal prep service. Now, the way I went about it wasn't the direct method, and a lot of times when you're going for someone who has their bandwidth completely consumed with more important issues and topics and decisions, a lot of times going directly to them isn't the best route. So what did I do? Well, I noticed that he tagged his personal assistant in a couple of his Instagram posts. So then I approached his personal assistant from our brand page, and I asked her if she thought that it would be beneficial for Grant to be getting on a meal prep service. A lot of you are probably familiar with the concept or the term the gatekeeper. Now, the gatekeeper is basically a euphemism for the person who stands between you and the person you want to get in contact with. It might be a handler, it might be a manager, it might just be a secretary who picks up the phone and screens calls to make sure that their boss isn't busy with sales offers and all sorts of robo-dials and all sorts of other BS, who's trying to get their attention, because the more successful and the more power somebody has, the more people want to somehow leverage that for their own interest. So these gatekeepers are set up in order to make sure that that person is focusing on the stuff they feel they need to focus on and nothing else. So in this instance, I was able to fast track and get right to the person who's right next to Grant all the time. Now, by going through his assistant, I also knew that she was probably going to be making a lot of the smaller decisions for him. As long as it wasn't something that was going to risk her job, she probably would be pretty comfortable as long as I was able to state a good enough case and convince her to roll the dice with me. Now, it just so happens that Grant Cardone eats food. and it just so happens that Grant Cardone also appreciates his time. So those are two things that I was able to basically throw her way. I was like, listen, I know he's eating something. He's probably always eating in a rush. He's probably compromising on some of the stuff he's eating, and he'd probably want to be eating healthier and easier food if it was available. Now, I was able to highlight our phenomenal record. We've got a great record on Yelp, and it's able to, it's a good leverage commodity in order to convince people to give us a try, as opposed to the other brands, the other companies. You've got to put not only the end user in mind, but also the person between you and them. You have to be sensitive to their perspective in the fact that there's probably a lot of people approaching them, trying to get through them to their boss. This is where you really want to make sure that the benefits you're highlighting are the ones that are the most advantageous to the end user's perspective. With Grant, it's not going to be how affordable our plans are. In fact, we're intentionally one of the more expensive brands around here, and that makes us even more ideal for Mr. Cardone. Long story short, not only was I able to get Grant on our meal prep program, but we also got Elena, his wife, on our meal prep program, as well as Jared, his right-hand man, probably the next busiest person under that roof, and some other people who are on his management team and his sales team. Once they saw what Grant was eating, it was a no-brainer to get them to jump aboard and join our program as well. So now we've got Grant Cardone eating our food, but the problem is nobody knows about it. So I'm fascinated by this man, and I'm always trying to think, what would he do in order to get the attention of himself? Now, if you know Grant Cardone, you probably know one of his catchphrases is, "Who's got my money?" Well, I looked at ways to incorporate one of his catchphrases, and I chose this one into a menu item that I also saw him eating a lot of. He was ordering the honey salmon that we had. It was a honey glazed salmon, and I saw him ordering that pretty consistently. I saw that coming up in the menu, so I changed the name of that meal to "Who's Got My Honey Salmon?" So now he's eating that meal while he's flying on his private jet. This was his old jet, not the G550 that he's got now, but he's eating this meal on his private jet. Couldn't be a better time for him to do this. And on his Instagram, he posted a video showing our meal, talking about how he's eating Fit Food Fresh, and he noticed the name change. He wasn't sure why we didn't. He didn't realize that we did that specifically to get his attention, but it worked. Not only did I grab Grant Cardone's attention, I probably stood out among all the other products that he was using that day, but he also made a video on his jet. If there was a better way to quickly highlight the value and the quality of our product in an Instagram video, I don't know what it is. I've got a soon-to-be billionaire eating our meal, giving us a shout out on his private jet in front of his audience of like 500,000 subscribers at that time. That was beautiful. And what's best is not only did it cost us $0, but he literally paid us for that product. So he basically paid us to then promote our product that day. Again, I just pat myself on the back so much for that one. I know the meal prep business can be a beast, especially when you're trying to navigate it alone. That's why I've created the Meal Prep Mafia, a private group dedicated to other meal prep entrepreneurs who want to learn, share, and grow together. We've got entrepreneurs from a myriad of different backgrounds with a ton of experience and perspectives that you're able to tap into and learn from. I'm sure you've got questions of your own, but sometimes the most valuable question is the one you haven't even thought of yet. Sign up for the monthly membership and access this brain trust of fellow preppreneurs and see that we can cover more ground faster together. I guarantee it's going to be the best investment that you made in yourself and your business so far. Sign up at mealprepbiz101.com and I will see you in the Mafia. Now, going back to the assistant, you want to make sure these people don't just feel used and abused. I kept up dialogue with the assistant. I made sure to send her some free snacks and give her some free credit every once in a while. I wanted her to feel important and valued so that she also appreciated our brand, because at the end of the day, if she decided she wanted to try another service, she could probably convince Grant to start that other service. He doesn't care. He just wants something to show up and he's going to eat it, right? So you want to make sure that you keep those contact people happy and liking you, and make sure that they don't feel like you're just discarding them as soon as you get what you want from them. So now his assistant ended up offering us some tickets to one of his seminars. We, of course, graciously accepted these tickets, and I went down, enjoyed the seminar thoroughly. And one of the things that he was discussing in the seminar was how, especially in South Florida, and this is probably in every major city throughout the world, especially now with Instagram, there's so many people faking it. And he was talking about how guys have Lambos, but they don't have enough money to put gas in their Lambo. One of the catchphrases that he dropped that got a great reaction at that seminar was, "You can fake a Lambo, but you can't fake a jet." He was talking about the purchase of his jet and how that's more of a status symbol than these Lamborghinis that could be rented and everything else. So I took that phrase that made a huge impact on that audience and I made t-shirts. Now what's beautiful about this is I actually used a barter relationship that we had, so the t-shirt just cost us food. I had these t-shirts made in the same fashion that Grant Cardone would have done it himself. And very simple, no graphic design or anything special. I copied the same kind of font that he would use on his other t-shirts, and I even copied his logo so that it looked as close to something that he would make and wear as possible. Then I made a bunch of copies. I sent them to everyone in his management team or his sales office. I made some smaller versions that were in pink for his daughters in smaller sizes. I made another version that was pink for his wife, and I sent them to everybody. He loved it so much that the t-shirts I sent for the sales staff, he actually took them back and he used them as incentives to close deals and as rewards for the sales staff when they close some deals. So he was also giving those out to clients and using them as a carrot to get his sales team to perform. So you think he loved it? Yeah. And if you look, there are pictures of Grant Cardone wearing this shirt. He actually loved it so much that they ended up basically replicating this shirt. You can see the font is a little bit different on his, but the one that he's wearing isn't his. The one that he's wearing in any of the pictures, when you ever see this, it's the one that I made for him. If you're looking for answers to questions or problems that I don't cover in any of my videos or content, then you may want to consider booking a one-on-one consultation with me. We'll do a deep dive into your situation and obstacles to find you solutions and remedies to get you where you want to be faster and easier. After growing Fit Food Fresh to Florida's highest rated meal prep company from nothing, I can assure you that I've made most of the mistakes and dodged most of the bullets, and I can give you a perspective that will help you see around corners and solve issues that you don't even see coming. We'll book an hour at a time as needed, and I record every session and give you a copy so you don't have to worry about taking notes, just focusing on the problems and the solutions we're discussing. To book your first hour, head on over to mealprepbiz101.com. I'm excited to learn more about you and your service, and I look forward to helping you grow as a business, as an entrepreneur, and as an individual. Now let's fast forward a couple of months. At this point, not only do I have a good rapport established with his personal assistant, Katie, but I also have a somewhat of a rapport developed with Jared Glant. He'll still remember my name. I sent him some gifts for his son. He sent me a very nice thank you letter. He's a top-notch, Class A type of guy. So we have a little bit more leverage with them. We were actually able to finagle some free tickets that were like $5,000 a piece. We were able to get some free tickets and attend another seminar. What shirt do you think I was wearing to that seminar? I want Grant to put a name and a face to the brand. So I show up and I'm wearing the Jet t-shirt, and I come up with a question while he's doing a Q&A series. He recognizes the t-shirt, he recognizes the company name, and we get another shout out. When we took a break for that seminar, and again, he's got cameras all over the place at the seminar. They had cameras zooming in on me, so everybody in that room was watching me. I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of not mess around business owners who are paying thousands of dollars for these tickets, who now know my face, who now know the shirt that I'm wearing, and are gonna come up and ask me how the hell I got on Grant Cardone's radar, because he not only recognized me by my shirt, but he specifically recognized my brand, and he mentioned that he was on our food in front of all these people. So what do you think happened when we went on break? Not only was I like accosted by guys reaching over and like trying to swap cards and stuff like that, but we went on break, I was like a mini celebrity. So I was able to not only get business cards from everybody who was there, I was able to sign up a bunch of business owners, get their companies on our plan, but even the ones who were out of town would come back and they would use us while they were in town for either a Tony Robbins event or another Grant Cardone event. Both of those guys live down here, they do events all the time. So we're able to have all these locals and these out-of-state people flying in and using our service just from me wearing the t-shirt that I already made. Are you looking for an ordering system that will automate the menial but crucial tasks that help your meal prep grow and to help you capture more profit? Then head on over to mealprepbiz101.com to learn more about the most advanced piece of software that this industry has ever seen. It can seamlessly integrate with your existing website or provide a turnkey e-commerce solution if you don't already have one. Automate everything from taking orders to marketing to customer service, and it's all under one roof. You can literally be live within a day and avoid all of the time, the headache, and the expense associated with other solutions. The best part is there's no monthly subscription and there's no annual fee. To learn more, head on over to mealprepbiz101.com. But again, it's important to go after the people who are around your target, and you also want to continue nurturing those relationships. Follow them on Instagram, find out what they're into, and use that. At the time, Elena was doing kickboxing and boxing. I was doing boxing at the time. I knew there's an intimate little knowledge of people who are boxing. You know how bad your gloves smell. Well, they have glove deodorizers, so that's something that not a lot of people are going to know. So by me getting her lavender scented glove deodorizers, not only does she know I'm following her, paying attention to what she's doing, but I also know a bit about boxing, or at least wearing gloves in kickboxing or something else, and I got her some lavender scented deodorizers. Making the shirts for his daughters was another little detail that didn't have to be done that I think they appreciated, and it made us stand out a little bit more than anybody else who's trying to just send them gifts. Because also, Grant and Elena, they get gifts all the time. Elena was gifted some Chanel stuff. I can't compete with that. I can't justify buying Elena a Chanel purse or something just to get on her radar. But doing something thoughtful for her, doing something thoughtful for her daughters. The baby book that I got for Jared Glant when his son turned 1 or whatever the occasion was, those little details that show that you're not only being considerate of the people around the star, around the target, but also going deeper into their lives and showing that you have appreciation for them. It's something that, like I said, it really helps you stand out above and beyond everybody else who's trying to grab their attention. Figure out ways to get closer and closer to the target. Figure out ways to nurture the relationships of the people around them so that you're able to more organically get passed through to them. If I'm able to get the attention of Grant Cardone, the CEO and C-level of JetSmarter, the C-level of AutoNation, think about what you'd be able to do if you're able to just get the decision maker for like 5 local gyms in your area, or a major accounting firm, or a huge law firm with 50 attorneys and twice as many paralegals and a bunch of people in an office building where they're billing by the hour. Think about what that could do for your business. Implement these strategies and let me know how it works out. Maybe there's a local football player and you want to get on their bandwidth. You would love for them to share your service on their Instagram. Now, I promise you, it won't make you an overnight success. It's not going to double your business right away. But as far as my personal ego trip, being able to show that to my friends and show off a little bit, pop my collar a little bit, it was well worth the while. But it also did convert into a lot of real income, real deals. And what's beautiful about it is even my target, Grant Cardone, Elena, his family, his team, they are paying us for our products. So even just getting them without their audience was well worth the effort. I hope that gives you guys some ideas. Think outside the box, be creative. I've got more stories if you want me to do more examples, but I think that covers the gist of it. Also, check out the links below. Check out my other videos. Check out mealprepbiz101.com. Reach out for a consultation. Check out the software. And until my next episode, I look forward to helping you grow as a business, as an entrepreneur, and as an individual.